Hello, my name's Kara Chafin, and I'm going to be presenting on emergency management theory. Does it exist, and what is it? So, in my mind, this topic is kind of complex in that it separates the theory from the practice. So, we have practitioners who go through trainings and apply basic knowledge of emergency management functions to disaster events. The knowledge and implementation plan that they're operating from is a form of basic emergency management theory. It's based off assumptions, it has principles, it was formulated based off of just basically what has been most successful. But there are more complex theories that look into human behavior, social science, and disaster that are of great use to emergency managers, and that these basic elements and functions are already drawing from. So yes, there is a theoretical basis for emergency management, and it's already instilled and it's important. So for much of its history, the emergency management discipline has been considered this specialized body of knowledge to be the skills relating to emergency response. So we look at these practitioners and we see that they have a set of skills. They're methodical, or they have these structures set in place. But the theoretical knowledge that forms the basis of emergency management lies not in these technical skills, but in social science research and a deeper understanding of the nature of disaster and the reaction of people and organizations to crisis. So it's not just the trainings and their wealth of knowledge that provides them with these technical skills. It's drawing off of research of social science, knowing how people respond to stuff, knowing the impacts of a crisis, and knowing how to calm and help these organizations and people in crisis. So just to look at the basic emergency management theory I'm talking about, it's defined as the managerial function charged with creating the framework within which communities reduce vulnerability to threats and hazards and cope with disasters. So the 8 principles of effective emergency management are that it's comprehensive, it's progressive, it's risk-driven, it's integrated, it's collaborative, it's coordinated, it's flexible, and it's professional. And it operates off the assumptions that threats and hazards always exist. Disasters have significant impacts on humans and the environment. Successful emergency management depends on preparation, organization, and coordination, and that emergency management practices work. Touching back on integrated, we know from our readings and just from going through the semester that integrated emergency management is very important. It takes in all threats, all hazard approach to the direction, control, and coordination of disasters, and supports whole community preparedness. So just the fact that we have this basic structure, basic theory that all of our practitioners are operating off of and have some awareness of shows that there is theory. This approach is based off previous approaches and things that are effective or not. And it also consists of the 4-tiered response: the preparedness, the mitigation, the response, and the recovery aspects of basic emergency management. Less basic theories that draws off of are normative theories that establish norms and help managers to build integrated management strategies in advance. So this is how managers can sit down and make those plans preemptively before disaster and know how they're going to respond. Substantive theories are aiming to explain and predict human behavior. So how are people going to react if this happens? Why do they react that way? Knowing why they react that way helps us to know how to calm them in that situation and what response is going to be best, how to communicate most clearly with them. And then management theories. Because we are emergency managers, it's important to have structure in place so that things like our ICS structure and chain of command can be established, and not have to be debated in the time of crisis and just have some clarity. So, to conclude, emergency management as a field consists of those visible practitioners focusing on preparation, mitigation, response, and recovery who are operating off of theory, as well as scholars who study history, natural disaster, effective management and communication, and normative human behavior, who are more developing those theories. Looking at failures and seeing why did it happen like that? Why wasn't this response effective? And then taking that information and applying it to possibly correct the basic structure of emergency management. And it's easy to see emergency management, looking at these practitioners, as just procedural, or as these individuals doing a step-by-step in-field analysis of a disaster. But you have to realize that in order for these functional theories and methodologies to have come about, there has to have been some study. There has to have been information on how people respond to things, and that's all based in theory. So determining which methods will most successfully predict behavior, calm populations in crisis, create a stable management framework, disseminate crucial information clearly, and mitigate future disaster impacts relies heavily on awareness of theories pertaining to disaster, social science, and human behavior and management.